Hey guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing MotoGP 22, and today we're going to be starting the 9-season mode from MotoGP 22. Now this is of course all about the 9th season where Valentino Rossi claimed his 9th World Championship, and today's objective is to not only finish in first place, but to distance the second place finish, which will be Valentino Rossi, by at least 5 seconds. Now, let me tell you guys, without hesitating, this challenge really pushed me to my limits. It was so annoying. Now, the reason why I will still get into as this video goes on is there's a few minor issues with MotoGP 22's braking and accelerating. I can't really describe it to you, but every now and again, I found in this particular challenge, the bikes were just really unreliable. 1 second they would be great, it felt awesome, and then secondly they would just be, huh? What happened? Why is it braking like that? I mean, very peculiar. Turn 4 I believe it is, you'll definitely see it the next time I go around because you'll see how gingerly I tend to brake in there. But honestly, a few parts like this sector always gives me trouble in MotoGP games, every time, but I felt pretty good using Casey Stoner's Ducati Desmosedici. So I thought, okay, feeling pretty confident, feeling pretty good right now, and we're already up by 3 seconds, so we only need to gain 2 more seconds, and the optional objective will be complete. So I'm feeling pretty good. The gameplay, I believe, is on 120% AI difficulty. I didn't change it from when I just jumped on it. I wasn't sure how difficult it would be. But I will tell you, if you do have difficulties with this, there should be no shame in dropping the difficulty, because it's tough. It is really tough to stay 5 seconds ahead of Valentino Rossi. I mean, think about it. 5 seconds ahead of the greatest motorcycle rider of all time. Yes, it's that difficult. But turn 1 didn't have too much issues with. I felt pretty good with the Ducati. It didn't really feel like I was struggling too much. But what I will say is, if you want to complete this challenge legitimately with the optional extras, you need to turn off electronics for this one. I brought the TCS down to 1 and anti-wheelie left at 2. I found that this was really slow if you have the electronics on. I'm someone who always turns electronics off anyway since about halfway through MotoGP 21, so I'm feeling pretty confident with it anyway, but for some reason the bikes are just so slow with electronics on, which I think is so hard for the newcomers, because not only are you going to be going slower, you're also going to need to turn everything off to become faster, which makes it such a challenge. I didn't have too much issues. I felt pretty good with the bike, but I did have issues with the weird moments on the track and the bike being unresponsive. I did find it was only this game mode that gave me the unresponsive controls. I tried changing controllers, I tried plugging the controllers in, I tried turning my PC off and on again, and for some reason there's just weird parts on this track which just gives you no response whatsoever. I had a few parts where I've had to delete the videos because I would be smashing it, the challenge was going great, went to turn, and for some reason the bike just went straight on. Very odd. Let me know in the comment section down below if you have anything like that, because I would like to let Milestone know if that's the case. Maybe there is a bug in this particular sort of game mode. But as far as the game mode goes, getting back to the action, 4.5 seconds we are adrift from Valentino Rossi, and we are going to be setting our first actual fastest race of the lap time, and across the line it's a 154.067 for Casey Stoner. We need to get something similar to that again to continue to beat Valentino Rossi, because when I tried this one earlier before I had those issues, I noticed that towards the end of the race he would match my pace. So I really need to make sure I'm on it for the next 4 laps, or excuse me, 3 laps let's say. But this is the bogey corner. Turn 4. For some reason, if you brake in there properly as you have done, for some reason you get sucked into the corner and you cannot move. It is the weirdest feeling ever. It's as if like your analog stick just stops working. You cannot move the bike in. I tried braking really gentle there, tried braking really hard there, tried braking overly with the rear brake, and for some reason it kept sucking me into that corner. So the only way I could do it was to brake really early and a bit prematurely, quite honest with you, and then it wasn't too bad. But we have now just breached 5 seconds just briefly for the very first time in this race, so I'm feeling pretty confident. We're now on the 3rd lap of 5. You can see in the bottom right hand corner of the objective, you'll see that tick sort of just illuminate when you see me actually complete the challenge, or at least be on par for finishing the challenge. But I will say as well, guys, the braking for these bikes is odd. I found that these bikes feel completely different to the modern day MotoGP bikes, which is true, which is correct, it should be like that. But I found that the only way to be good with these bikes is to use a hell of a lot of rear brake. I'm talking every corner rear brake. Also, the shifting is weird with this one, because if you're a semi-automatic guy like me, you're going to have a tough time if you want to start using the brakes, using the gears, sorry. So for me, I like to downshift myself, but for some reason, when you downshift now on this game mode, it won't do the upshift for you on the next, or coming out of the corner, let's say. You have to do the upshift, which I don't mind too much sometimes, but if you get it wrong and you downshift, the bike will just stick in its gear and you can hear the old and for some reason you're stuck with that. You have to then manually come out of it, which completely defeats the object of it being semi-automatic. It's either manual or automatic in this game, it seems, so bear that in mind if you are similar to me. Well, breaking into the deadly turn 4, you can see even how I was getting sucked into that corner. You'll see me go into the brakes and for some reason I can't do anything, so I've had to try and accelerate out of it. It really felt like when you go on standard difficulty and you use the auto brakes. Now I did check this to make sure that wasn't enabled, and it wasn't. But it does feel like your bike just goes into the corner automatically, takes all control from you, and then gives it you back. It's terrible. It's really nasty. Even just thinking about it now is just making me cringe. You're doing so well, you're in certain concentration mode, and all of a sudden it's just like, it's nasty. That fourth corner though is just by far the worst one. Let me tell you, it's just awful. Let me know if you've experienced that. I hope I'm not going mad, but I swear it was not pleasant. Something to mention with this one as well is you can use power setting throughout the duration of this particular race, because we now are on the penultimate lap and the tyres have been the same and the fuel gauge is exactly the same, so that is a positive. But what I am concerned by is that I have had to do 2 low 54s in a row, and we're still just on the precipice of keeping this objective in the green. And across to the right hand side over turn 16 for the final corner of the penultimate lap, it's 5.1. What's the lap time going to be across the line? Let's get a good indication of how fast we're going to have to do this to make sure we get it done. It's a 1:54.4, so we lost another 0.2 of a second, so we need to make sure that we don't lose any more time. If we do another 1:54.4, we should be okay. If we do it any slower than that, then I think we're not going to get the optional objective done. And as I say, this is on 120% difficulty AI, so it's not going to be that hard if you drop it, but I really was determined to get it done on this difficulty just because it was more interesting this way. But I will tell you, the rest of the objectives were nowhere near as difficult as this one. This was the only one that gave me trouble, and I've done a few of them. So yeah, with that weird corner in turn 4 and a few glitches and weird input delay, I think we're doing a good job. And if you're enjoying content like this, be sure to hit the subscribe button, because I've got a lot more MotoGP 22 content planned very, very soon. And of course, if you're having issues with the game and you're not really grasping the braking, stay tuned, because I've got a braking guide tutorial coming very, very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. But now onto the left hand side for turn 10. Looking in the right hand side, you see the sort of difference in time. We are very close to our fastest lap earlier on. As long as we stay like this, we're still 6.5 of a second clear, dropping it down to 5 of a second clear, still clear from the 9 times world champion, or at least 8 times at this point in this going back in history thing. So on the right hand side, we'll go now for turn 14. This is the part where I feel a little bit concerned now, because we're right there. Just got to keep on moving, just got to keep on pushing, and I think we've got the job done. But look at my lap times. Really fast, consistent lap times, and it's still only just barely 5.3 seconds. At least on the straight, we have the Ducati strengths. So bring on the power, bring on the speed, and across the line we will go, completing the optional objective with another 1:54.4. What a brilliant challenge that was, because that really took it out of me. But guys, I hope you enjoyed that one. If you did, let me know in the comment section down below. Of course, hit the like button and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now. Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite sate your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now, with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.